And thanks again to all of you. I know we're coming down the home stretch. We have some important business to continue here with today and this afternoon, and we again thank you for your attendance. And for those who have been sponsors, we thank you. Again, they're listed on the programs. It's impressive to see the great list of those who have sponsored this event. We thank you. For our presenters, the different backgrounds and expertise that have been brought to bear here, we thank them. Gary, we thank you for being here and being a part of our efforts here today. And we certainly look at Newfield as really one of those great corporate citizens out there that's innovative. They've got a commitment to Utah and the Uinta Basin and doing a lot of great things in behalf of the people of Utah and America and literally having your impact felt around the world. So we thank you, Gary, for what you're doing and appreciate your leadership. As we talk about leadership and Utah itself, let's just go back in history and take a look at what we've done. I'm very proud of what we've done in our history of our state, and that we've had what we call Utah's energy pioneers, the men and women who helped transform Utah into the economic success that it is today through energy. We recognize that having the lights on, figuratively and literally, having the lights on brings economic prosperity, and that really is the promise of the state of Utah. In fact, if we look back far enough, we'll see that Utah often played a very pivotal role in the history of electrical power and innovation, the generation of power and what we can do to turn the lights on. For example, in 1881, while Utah was still a federal territory, Salt Lake City became the 5th city in the world to electrify with a central source of electricity thanks to Utah Power, Light, and Heating Company. They followed London, New York, San Francisco, and Cleveland, and our pioneering great-great-grandparents advanced innovation and flipped a switch that would chart new paths for our state to become one of the greatest economies in the United States through energy leadership. Writing about that momentous occasion, one historian noted, "At first there was only a faint, pale glow, but it gradually grew brighter and brighter until each lamp glowed like a sun." We want Utah to continue to be that shining example for our region and for the nation and for the world. That's why we're here today. And I'm proud of our legacy, and I'm proud that we continue to lead as the crossroads of global innovation, empowering opportunities that transform people's lives through energy. Therefore, it is my honor to recognize 4 individuals who have made an indelible impact on finding innovative pathways to deliver on Utah's promise to keep the lights on. So again, as Dr. Lohr mentioned, I'm going to mention the names, and if you'll come forward so we can recognize you. The first is Roger Barris. Roger's leadership in the Utah House of Representatives, not an easy job, played a pivotal role in the creation and sponsorship of legislation that provided for our state's energy policy, my 10-year energy plan, and the creation of my Office of Energy Development. We thank Roger for that. The next one is a name you're familiar with, one of Utah's greatest environmental advocates is former Salt Lake City Mayor Ted Wilson. Ted has a variety of backgrounds, expertise in many areas. He was a mountaineer, he was a teacher, a community leader, an innovative politician who had the uncanny ability to knit together diverse stakeholders and communities to mutually advance our economy, our environment. I mentioned earlier, he was a chairman of my Balanced Resource Committee, trying to bring stakeholders together to find the right and appropriate balance. So we thank Ted Wilson for his leadership and contribution. The third individual is Ken May. Ken is the son of a Utah miner. Ken's leadership at the Sufco coal mine for 23 years put Utah on the map for the largest producing and safest coal mine in the United States, able to power our thriving economy and high quality of life with this precious commodity. We appreciate Ken and his work in helping the coal industry. So thank you, Ken May. And last but certainly not least, finally, Gail Miller. Gail hardly needs any introduction to this group here. She is a courageous woman, a friend of mine who stepped into the chair of the Larry H. Miller Group of Companies, which, by the way, employs over 11,000 people across transportation, sports, entertainment, and retail, providing jobs that help power our economy. She helped lead the Jazz to the semifinals in the Western Division. We appreciate Gail for her work there. Not only is a great entrepreneur and businesswoman, but she has provided leading efforts to advance energy efficiency with the Utah Jazz Green Team, and as well as energy diversity with the installation of, hear this, 2,700 solar panels on the Vivint Smart Home Arena. So please recognize Gail for her great contributions to our state. So now, one last round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Please join me in thanking our 2018 Energy Pioneers for their trailblazing leadership and contributions to Utah's energy success. Now we should have a video we can all watch and enjoy.
As a public servant in the legislature, I recognized that I was there to serve and to provide a better life for people. That better life has to start with a good foundation. And part of that good foundation is energy. And so when Governor Herbert was elected, he and his state energy advisor got together with a task force to create what's called the state's 10-year strategic energy plan. It created the Office of Energy Development. I was given the opportunity to sponsor the legislation that created the Office of Energy Development. We surely are a group of people that are willing to collaborate and come up with good policy.
For too many times in our society, we want to create an environmental camp and a business camp and not realize the interface that is deeply shared. Unless they start with that premise, we don't get anything done between the two sides. And we can let the future get away from us on what we do poorly today, or we can have a future that we love, that's there for our kids and there for our economy and for our way of life if we work hard now.
I grew up just west of the Capitol building, and I lived in a home that was built by the pioneers. So I'm sure originally it was very dimly lit, if at all, because it was built in the late 1800s. There was a time when I was in high school that we were poor enough that it was hard to keep light bulbs in our house. I remember one time in particular we had one light bulb in the house, so it was kind of sharing the energy. But it made me appreciate what energy meant and how it's so basic to our needs. And today we have the opportunity to help 11,000 families light their homes. I realized quickly that if I'm in a leadership role, I have an opportunity to influence women and help them understand that they can overcome their fears of stepping into the limelight if they will just step out of a comfort zone and go for it.
I was a general manager at Sufco for 23 and a half years. Yeah, Sufco's a coal mine, obviously. In 2006, it was the largest single longwall producer of coal and produced 7.9 million tons. To be recognized as the most productive mine in the United States, and in 2010 and 2012 being recognized as the safest mine any place in the United States, is also being recognized as the safest any place in the world. We set some real honest records, and no place do I think there's a better workforce than in rural Utah.